Knuckling under to R.A. Dickey and a ferocious Blue Jays attack. Altuve and the Astros coming your way right now. From Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Root Sports brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight it's Game 2 of a 4-game series between the first-place Astros and the Toronto Blue Jays. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown along with Alan Ashby. Bart Ennis joins us in a few minutes to talk with Steve Sparks because the Astros face the knuckleballer tonight, R.A. Dickey. But last night, they put together a powerful rally against the Toronto bullpen to win it from behind, Ash.
It was a quiet night up until that point. 7th inning, the Astros down a run. Had that feel of, boy, the at-bats of the innings, rather, have not been big lately. But in that 7th inning, Jason Castro got it started. Preston Tucker, his 3rd hit of the night, slicing a double down the left field side. That was key as he tied the ball game. George Springer and company loved it. Jonathan Villar got in the act with that chop double down the right field side over the first baseman. And the Astros were off and running at that point. And the guy that runs the most, Jose Altuve, picked up the stolen base. As the ball was dropped, another run scored. The Astros just tacked on in that inning and win another ball game.
Coming up, dead spin. It'll take patience at the plate to connect with an R.A. Dickey knuckleball tonight. What's the Astros' secret weapon for dancing with the knuckler? Bart Ennis will show us after the break.
Dealers, and tonight we're talking knuckleball since they're facing R.A. Dickey, and the Astros have their own knuckleball consultant as part of their radio crew. Steve Sparks threw knuckleballs in the big leagues for about 10 seasons. So when you talk to the players, what are you telling them? What to look for?
You know what, they'll ask me, what's the best approach and what are you looking for if you're hitting against a knuckleball? I tell most guys to stand as close to home plate as possible. The idea is for a knuckleballer, you want to be nice and free and relaxed, and you usually get off a good knuckleball that moves a lot. when you're worried about hitting a guy, they're on that inside corner, you tend to steer it a little bit, and it usually becomes a much more ineffective knuckleball.
You know, Dickey, of course, won the Cy Young in New York, pitching outdoors all the time. Not so successful in Toronto, indoors here. Does that make a difference?
You know, I always found, and I've talked to a lot of other knuckleballers, you talk to the Necros or Charlie Huff, Tom Candiotti, they love the indoors. They love the roof closed. Obviously in Houston you still have some humidity here, and that works as resistance against that knuckleball. So you usually have a real good moving knuckleball. Now it's whether or not you can throw it for strikes.
Yeah, that's really the key, because and also Dickey does throw other pitches. So you've got a guy that, you know, he'll throw the knuckleball a lot, but he's not always throwing that. So as a hitter, what's the challenge there? Just picking it up out of his hand?
Well, you don't want to look for that other stuff. It's usually 10-20% when he throws the fastball or the curve or the little cut fastball. So until you get to 2 strikes, you're probably going to look for a hanging knuckleball. And the old adage is, when it's high, let it fly, which means swing, and when it's low, let it go. And I tend to think that high one, and Alan Ashby can talk about this too, that high one sails a lot. So you get a lot of pop-ups on the high one. So I would suggest for a hitter not to swing at the high one, but look for it anywhere from about stomach to mid-thigh. Look for that one right in the medium spot that has a little bit of tumble on it, because it usually doesn't dance as much.
All right, well, you didn't throw many of those floaters. I remember that.
I threw quite enough floaters.
He did a nice job in the big leagues for a long time, so thanks for your input. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Time to take a break now, but hey, we got a nice pitching matchup. They got the knuckleballer. Hopefully Dallas Keuchel will bring maybe his brass knuckles out there so he can rough up the Blue Jays a little bit. Brownie and Ash will be back with more in just a moment.
This 4-game series, the Astros 2-1 on this homestand so far, and Dallas Keuchel has been magnificent this year with the best ERA in the American League, 1.39.
Fabulous stuff. And then you look at what he's done against the Toronto Blue Jays through the years. He's 2-0 in 3 previous starts. The one number that jumps out, though, is 4 home runs allowed in 21 and a third innings, despite an ERA of 2.95. So keep the ball in the ballpark against this powerful Blue Jays lineup, and I think Dallas Keuchel will be right where he wants to be again. Jack in the Box takes us inside the box score on Keuchel's ground ball rate, and you can see fastball, slider, changeup. Those are the Keuchel pitches. He'll mix around that slider a bit, but nonetheless, you can see the percentages of the pitches thrown. On the bottom, you can see the percentages of ground balls created with those pitches, and the slider seems to be the king of them all. But the sinker, the fastball, creates a lot, as does the changeup. So he's just got a great arsenal of pitches with which he can get ground balls.
And this Toronto club with 189 runs scored is a test for a pitcher. Here's the starting lineup for John Gibbons. Devin Travis, an exciting rookie second baseman, leads it off. He's followed by Josh Donaldson, the third baseman. Jose Bautista bats third. He's the DH with the cleanup man, first baseman Edwin Encarnacion. Russell Martin returns to the lineup to do the catching with Danny Valencia in left field, Chris Colabello in right, Kevin Pillar in center field, and Steve Tollefson at shortstop. And Keuchel is ready to go with Travis, who's leading in many offensive departments among American League rookies. Taking, and there is strike one. Brian O'Nora is the home plate umpire. Travis has put together a fine start to his rookie season. 274, 7 homers, 26 runs batted in. Fouls that one back, and it's a no ball, 2-strike count for the 24-year-old from West Palm Beach, Florida, who attended Florida State. Detroit drafted him in 2012, and he came in the trade for Anthony Ghost to Toronto. He was 1 for 4 with an RBI last night. Keuchel on the breaking pitch, gets a foul ball on top of the Toronto Blue Jays dugout into the seats.
Don't try to read too much into the early pitches, but I would say with the first 3 pitches thrown, all right down there at the knees, bottom of the knees even, and looks very sharp.
Keuchel with a ground ball. Altuve to his left, spins, throws. What a play by Altuve, and Carter digs it out at first. Magnificent whirl-around throw by Altuve at second.
Altuve, because he was running so hard, wound up in shallow right field toward the line. But when you get to watch this play again, watch the athletic ability that creates the spin and the throw right out of it. That is extremely tough stuff. You got to be able to pick it up with your eyes before you make the throw, and you can see how he creates that. Just a special athlete.
That's some magical work with the glove from a man who has not made an error all season. Now it's Josh Donaldson. Donaldson fouls it away, strike one. Donaldson has reached base in 32 consecutive games against the Astros. Hitting .312. He has 8 homers, 24 runs batted in after making the move in a trade from Oakland to Toronto. He cleared his body and fouled that one back. Looked like he was really going for a big swing that time. No balls, 2 strikes.
That is the Donaldson style, too.
He does not get cheated, Ash.
21 at bats lifetime against Dallas Keuchel while playing with the Oakland A's. A golden chance to see this left-hander quite a bit.
Breaking pitch, and he takes it. 1-2. Donaldson really beat out a big number offensively against the Astros pitching.
See where this winds up. Dallas acted like he felt like it was a callable pitch, clearly inside.
It looked like a good pitch. Now he gets him on a changeup.
And that's a very effective pitch against a guy who likes to crank up and take the big swing, because you're cranking up against what you perceive the pitch to be. If he's looking fastball, slider, speed even, that changeup is going to leave him way out in front.
5-time All-Star Jose Bautista comes up. Keuchel 4-0 with a 1.39 ERA. 2 other starts. He left with the lead and didn't get a decision. Bautista looks at ball 1 from him. 223, 6 homers, 19 runs batted in. Bautista hit one of the Toronto long balls last night, and they had back-to-back homers in the first inning from Bautista, and Encarnacion is on deck now. He's out in front of a change, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Again, that scenario, change up against the big swinger, and nobody swings it harder and larger than Jose Bautista.
Bautista with a big cut goes to a 1 ball, 2 strike count. It's an interesting matchup with the hard-hitting Blue Jays and Keuchel, who has prevented so much offense when he's been on the mound. And he gets a change again. Boy, he was dazzling with that off-speed pitch, and a 1-2-3 first. The Astros face off against R.A. Dickey in a moment. with Jose Altuve returning to the leadoff spot. Jake Marisnick has led off the last 5 games. Luis Valbuena's at third base. George Springer in right field. Evan Gattis returns to the lineup as well. He's the DH and cleanup man, with catcher Jason Castro following. Left fielder Preston Tucker. First baseman Chris Carter. Shortstop Marwin Gonzalez back in the lineup. And Jake Marisnick batting ninth tonight and playing center field.
On the mound for these Toronto Blue Jays, R.A. Dickey, veteran right-hander, knuckleballer. And the Astros have had good success against Dickey with that knuckleball, although he has had some success here in Toronto, or rather in Houston, excuse me. Get the roof closed and start mixing ball parts.
Yeah, roof in Toronto as well. Where are we? Ground ball up the middle. And there's the fine play by Travis. 1 out.
Defensively for the Blue Jays tonight, in the outfield left to right, Danny Valencia, Kevin Pillar, and Chris Colabello on the infield left side. Looking at Josh Donaldson and Steve Tollison on the right side, Devin Travis and Edwin Encarnacion. And behind the plate with the knuckleballer on the hill, it is Russell Martin, and he's having a good year and throwing very well.
Josh Tolley has caught Dickey down through the last few years, but Martin is a newcomer to the Jays. Valbuena the batter. That one almost clipped him. It's strike one. 2-0-2 for Valbuena. 8 homers to lead the club. 14 runs batted in for Luis. He taps that one foul, but the infield overshifted, playing him to pull, as most teams do. And Donaldson is about halfway between second and third. He has a lot of territory to cover there. Inside, and that one almost also hit Valbuena. 1-2. Steve Sparks gave us some good advice on that pregame interview with Bart Ennis about the hitters crowding the plate. Knuckleball pitchers find it more difficult if they do. Fouls it back. It's such a difficult pitch to control. He said they don't want to have to worry about hitting the batter also, and so getting up on the plate can make it even more difficult for Dickey.
Looks like he might be throwing a harder version of his knuckleball than we've seen at times in the past.
He does throw a hard knuckleball. 2-2.
Now, major league hitters have been launching a lot of home runs against Dickey. The Astros have done the same in their limited opportunities.
Foul fly into the seats.
Nine Houston home runs in 63 and 2/3 innings, so they have been letting it fly pretty well. Where's Mark Krause?
Actually, is with the Angels now.
Yeah, Mark Krause had success against Dickey last year.
Dickey's 40 years old, from Nashville, Tennessee. That one was in on Valbuena, and he hit it about 50 feet foul. Very interesting story. Dickey went to the University of Tennessee. He was a first-round pick of the Texas Rangers in '96. A physical discovered that he did not have an ulnar collateral ligament in his right elbow. He gets a strikeout for out number 2. He has not struck out a batter in either of his last 2 starts, but it's number 1 in the 9th there on the second batter.
So he needed Tommy John surgery at birth, then, is what you're saying.
Right, he didn't have one. No ligament. Well, that docked his signing bonus quite a bit, but it turned out pretty well. George Springer at 190 has 5 homers, 14 runs batted in, ground ball to the shortstop Tollison, and Dickey has a 1-2-3 first. No score after 1. West Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. Another cloudy night out there in Houston as the rain continues to fall. A lot of Rockets fans have rallied after their big come from behind win last night. Blue Jays nothing, Astros nothing after one. The Astros had a come from behind win with 4 in the 7th inning to overtake Toronto 6-4. So it was comeback night for Houston sports fans.
It's a Houston kind of thing, Bronny.
Well, that's a nice habit to get into. Edwin Encarnacion at 237 has 8 homers, 22 runs batted in. He's 3 for 8 lifetime against Keuchel. Altuve is up the middle for Encarnacion. Edwin ripped a home run last night in the back-to-back shots in the first inning. There is ball 1. This Toronto club is explosive, averaging 5.3 runs. That's right over the outside edge. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to the former Cincinnati Red. He was drafted by Texas, though, in 2000. Edwin, an all-star last year. 2 balls and a strike. Encarnacion now 32 years old. Keuchel was the pitcher of the month for April in the American League. He's 3rd in innings pitched in the AL. Bouncer up the middle. Altuve, long throw here, and he makes it accurately to Carter. He set up and took his time, getting Encarnacion. That's 4 straight for Keuchel.
You know what, that play defensively, talking about Keuchel on the mound, makes me think of Mike Hampton years gone by. Watch Keuchel actually go up and try to get this leaping on the mound. Not many pitchers are in a fielding position where they can make that kind of an adjustment, but Keuchel's in a great spot. I think Mike Hampton, probably the best. I'll take the probably out of there. The best I've ever seen on the mound defensively.
He was tremendous. Did Keuchel deflect that ball?
He did.
Okay. We'll make it a 1-4-3 play then. And it's Russell Martin. Strike to Martin, 288. 7 homers, 19 runs batted in, coming as a free agent, and several teams were interested in his services. Why not, with the career he's had? Did a wonderful job for the Pirates. That's bounced over the mound. Altuve in. And a little flip over for out number 2. Well, the Blue Jays did add some firepower over the winter. And Martin is a big part of what they did in the winter months. But they're 17-19 out of the gate this season. And they've lost 4 of their last 5. With 2 down, it's Danny Valencia batting. The left fielder at 333 has no homers. He's driven in 4. Valencia is 30 years old, from Miami, Florida, and the University of Miami. He homered off Keuchel last year. And there's ball 1. Keuchel has given up 1 home run this season in 53 innings. Valencia started the year with Kansas City, and then he came to Toronto in a trade last July. He was drafted by Minnesota, and he's played also for Boston and Baltimore. Breaking pitch in the dirt. The appeal went to first. He checked his swing. Clint Fagan with the call. 2-1. Quite a story about how Dallas Keuchel got to this point tonight. He has become one of the very best pitchers in baseball. Swing and a miss. And his 2-2, and the changeup is superb tonight.
Great mastery on that pitcher this evening, getting Bautista, I believe, on 3 changeups. You know, look at how effective that pitch is, getting the swing so far out in front.
Pitching inside, it's 3-2. Dallas is 27. He was a 7th-round pick in 2009. He has just really improved so very much the last couple of years. He had the 7th best ERA last year in the AL. That's strike 3. He's retired the first 6 in this game. 3 of them via the K. No score. The home second inning against the veteran R.A. Dickey, former Cy Young Award winner for the New York Mets in 2012. He was 20-6 that year with a 2.73 ERA, and he worked 233 innings, striking out 230. Evan Gattis lines one into left field, jumping on that first pitch to enhance his 181 batting average a bit. With 6 homers, 18 runs batted in. He comes off the bench from last night. He rested with this swing.
Got the high knuckle piece right here. And Steve Sparks, who knows a thing or two about knuckleballs, was talking about maybe wise to lay off the high knuckleball at times. This one did not sail.
He's aboard for Jason Castro. Castro moved up to 5th in the lineup for this game. Has been hitting the ball well. That one almost hit him, and it's ball 1 to Castro. 231 for Jason. 4 homers, 7 runs batted in for Castro. Castro's on a 5-game hitting streak. Not a torrid streak, 1 hit per game. But he's had some hard hit balls that have been caught as well. He had a hit and a walk and scored a run last night. Big hit off a left-handed pitcher. Homered in back-to-back games Tuesday and Wednesday, so it's a nice homestand underway for Jason, who goes to a 1-1 count. Castro has 6 hits and 16 career at-bats against R.A. Dickey. Dickey's 2-4 against the Astros with a 4.52 ERA for 9 starts. Castro checked the swing. 2 balls and a strike. Last time out, Dickey faced Boston, and he gave up 6 runs on 7 hits in 6 innings May 10th. So he's won only once this season. He hasn't had good run support. 3 balls and a strike. Dickey has 90 career wins and 86 losses. He became the 4th different Blue Jay pitcher to win a game at age 40 or more. Darren Oliver, Dan Plesac, and Dave Steve, the other 3. In for a strike, 3-2 to Castro. There's been quite a buzz around this place today since Lance McCullers was announced as the starter on Monday against Oakland. Ash,
I'm excited. You can count me in on that buzz. And I want to see that mid-90s arm.
should be a very exciting night as McCullers, who's 21, makes his major league debut Monday night here against Oakland. He's bypassing AAA. Line shot caught by Donaldson. There's another one on the list for Castro. There's always somebody there when he hits a line drive, it seems, including a third baseman playing shortstop.
You know, you got to stop being so good at some point and just get fortunate. And Jason is not part of that latter category a whole lot of the time.
He smacked that one. Good swing. Nice at bat. The result didn't go his way. Preston Tucker, the 3-hit night last night, is 4 for 14 as a major leaguer with 3 runs batted in. And it's strike 1. Tucker, a key part of last night's rally with the RBI double in the come from behind 7th inning. It was one of 2 doubles he had in the game. That foul ball makes it no balls, 2 strikes.
Our TXU Energy power player is Preston Tucker. And again, about last night, 3 hits. That was the first of the 3. Solid line drive to right field. He just raked one down the line for the first of his 2 doubles. And then he slashes one down the left field side. I don't know if that was part of the game plan there, but it's nice to see in the arsenal.
Tucker looks at it. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Preston. Yeah, McCullers had been called up to AAA Fresno, but hasn't pitched yet. And then it was announced today he won't pitch there. He'll pitch here instead. There's a line shot right field. Carr really smacked hard. And Tucker's heading for second base. Gattis for third. Stops on there. Another double for Tucker. It's second and third, 1 out. And Tucker has 3 doubles in his last 4 at-bats.
Really, you want to play every day on the big league level? Well, if you do, go ahead and rake it around the yard, and that is what this guy is doing. He's got that, I don't want to say long swing, but it's long through the zone. And that really leaves the bat in a hitting position for a long time. That grip by R.A. Dickey looked more like a changeup than a knuckleball.
Chris Carter's the batter. He looks at strike one. Carter at 150 with 5 homers, has 12 runs batted in. He is 3 for 10 lifetime against Dickey with a homer, 2 runs batted in. Carter last night 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Fouls that one away, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. So the Astros get this second inning opportunity to score.
You know, I don't even want to talk numbers on Preston Tucker at this point, but just the visual says this guy is enjoying and making the most of his time.
Center fielder Pilar over, both runners tagging. Here's the catch, and the throw goes to third. Gaddis scoring, 1-0 Houston. Sacrifice fly Carter on the 0-2 pitch. He gets RBI number 13.
Well, the Astros have one other stat that really stands up this year so far. When scoring first, they're 14-1. So that's not a bad sight here on the night.
Carter gets the first run home and turns it over to Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin trying to get untracked. Jonathan VR has started at shortstop the last 2 nights. Now Marwin gets his chance.
Notice Marwin hitting right-handed against the righty.
Yeah. There's strike one to him. He is a switch hitter. 232 overall, 1 homer, 8 runs batted in.
There have been a number of switch hitters through the years that have gone to the right side when batting against a right-handed knuckleballer.
His average overall is much better as a right-handed batter, 368 for just 19 at-bats. Gets that one foul, but you're right, it's kind of all bets are off when facing a knuckleballer. You'll see switch hitters do this from time to time.
You know, I guess what I would relate it to is you see a switch hitter after his career maybe go play a softball game and they'll bat from the right side, even though through their career a lot of the time they batted left-handed. But that's what the knuckleball is a little more like, is like that softball game.
There's a shot in the left field. It works quite well. Tucker's coming to the plate. Here's the throw from Valencia, and he is safe. 2-0, and into second, Marwin Gonzalez batting right against a right-hander, and it works. And his first at bat against R.A. Dickey.
Nice job right there, coming up with a big hit.
That also stops an 0 for 16 slide for him.
Another high knuckleball hit, and so that sailing knuckleball theory is not applying here early on. But Preston Tucker is the guy I wanted to really feature on right here. Watch him come around the bag, a good tight turn, and he runs well enough to be able to score. That makes a believer out of third base coaches. They love that guy that has the good turn.
Jake Marisnick looks at strike one. Tough night for him last night, 0 for 5 with 4 punch-outs. 288, 3 homers, 13 runs batted in. He had led off for the previous 5 games. A.J. Hinch, who, by the way, is celebrating a birthday today, was asked about this change in the batting order, and he said, I still like Marisnick and Altuve together. And so that's not to say it won't happen again with Marisnick leading off. There's a shot in left field, off the glove of Donaldson. That's going to give Marwin Gonzalez a chance to score. Run number 3, 3-0 Houston. Marisnick drives in his 14th.
Long night last night for Jake, and a nice start tonight. And pretty good stuff to look up on the board. See the Astros in the second inning up 3-0. This ball may have hit 2 gloves going into left field. Certainly hit Donaldson's glove, and then it seemed to tip, and well, I don't know if it hit the shortstop's glove, but a little bit of pinball wizardry there.
Astros are hitting that slot between third and short. Marwin and Marisnick, and now it's Altuve batting. He grounded out earlier. Now he pops a line drive over shortstop. That's another hit. And the Astros are jumping on these pitches here from Dickey. That's their 5th hit in the inning. In the 7th inning last night, they scored 4. with 3 hits and 2 walks, and this is that same type of inning. That's 49 hits for the league leader, Altuve.
There are times when Altuve can make it look so easy.
Valbuena bats. He struck out in the first inning. Rolling it back. There's strike 1. The Astros team batting average was .226 when this game began. At home, they were hitting .201. And we haven't found any explanation for that. In the air to right field. Second baseman Travis makes it out, number 3, and the Astros put together a 5-hit 3-run rally in the second. 3-0 Houston.
We're going to turn to Corpus Christi and Lance McCullers, who has gotten that call to come pitch with the Astros. He will pitch Monday, but this is filthy looking stuff. Over the top yacker. He's got a fastball reported to be in the mid-90s. That curveball is pure filth. And I mean right over the top, one after the other, and then come with the cheese up. Doesn't leave many double-A hitters with much of a chance.
Monday night against Oakland, the major league debut of Mr. McCullers. 3-0 here as Dallas Keuchel faces Chris Colabello. Colabello came up from Buffalo, and he has hit .471. 1 homer, 5 runs batted in. Formerly with the Minnesota Twins, he's fit quite capably into this lineup. And he shoots a line drive by the shortstop, Marwin Gonzalez, into left center field. First base runner for the Jays. Colabello's on for Kevin Pillar.
Wonder if Colabello did get a letter from the league. Last night he was getting out of the box and kind of walking around, and right there in just 2 pitches stayed right there. You actually can get hits that way.
Oh, really?
So I'm told. I can't verify that personally.
Pillar, a .252 hitter, has 1 homer. He's driven in 15. He was 1 for 4 last night. Tollison's on deck. Keuchel delivers, and it's ball 1 for Dallas. Dallas at home has an ERA of 0.43. He's given up 1 run here in 3 starts, covering 21 innings. In for a strike, 1-1. Last time out, he beat the Angels on the road 6-5, allowing 4 runs uncharacteristically in 6 2/3 innings, and that equaled the total he'd given up in his previous 6 starts. 2 balls and a strike. Dallas, we mentioned a 7th round pick in 09. He's from Tulsa and the University of Arkansas. His first year, he made 16 starts in 2012. He was 3-8 with a 5.27 ERA. The next year 6-10 with a 5.15. And then last year that 2.93 ERA, 200 innings, and he just blossomed. So if you had been looking at numbers for his career from 2012 and 2013, who could have seen that happening? You saw something you liked.
Well, it's something I liked, where I thought he could be a successful major league pitcher. I didn't foresee this, but Dallas is the guy that apparently foresaw this, and a lot of self-confidence.
3-2 now. Has 15 walks in 54 innings this year.
Just don't know that every great pitcher is a guy who throws 95 plus. Doesn't hurt a bit.
That's his first walk. Runners at first and second for Tollison now. Tollison, the shortstop, at 176, has 2 runs batted in. He's a career .297 hitter against lefties. Tollison's 31. He had 170 at bats for the Blue Jays last year. His father Wayne played in the big leagues for parts of 10 seasons. He's also a coach. There's strike one.
Just got a very hittable fastball.
Jose Reyes continues to be out with an injury to his rib. Little roller. Keuchel over. Makes the toss to Carter for out number 1. Colabello to third. Pilar to second.
Well, that swing produced a perfect little bunt. If the desire with the 9-hitter was possibly to get the guys over, perfectly accomplished. Full swing, and a full-grown man hit it.
You are cold. Devin Travis hit a ground ball, and Altuve made a spectacular play to get him with a 360 spin throw. There's a foul, strike one. The Astros, according to the latest defensive statistics, Ash, have saved 20 runs with their glove work. That's second in the majors to Kansas City, which has saved 30 runs defensively.
Those numbers are intriguing to me. I don't know how they're derived, how anybody determines how many runs were saved or allowed because of different plays, but the Astros have been good defensively, no question.
No balls, 2 strikes. Much better than last year, and for pitchers like Keuchel, that is important because he has struck out 37 in 51 innings coming into this game. He is a pitch to contact guy who gets tons of ground balls.
And helps himself out quite well with the glove.
In fact, he's allowed only 17% fly balls. The American League average is 30% for a pitcher. That one goes foul. The infielders have done a very solid job on this club. It's not so much about guys with tremendous range as just making those plays they can get to.
That's who Jed Lowry was playing at shortstop. Not a great range guy, but well, he made all the plays, and that's what you hope to get from the others.
Donaldson's on deck. Fly ball hit softly out to right field. George Springer. And the runner tags at third. He is going to just fake, and the throw comes into Carter, just not deep enough to send on Springer's arm.
Well done, too, in hitting the cutoff man. Chris Carter in a perfect spot, and when it's all said and done, ideal defense, just what you were talking about. That's how this all sets up. The changeup creates a weak swing and the shallow pop fly. There's Carter in place. There's the throw on the money, and nobody as an other base runner can move up on this sort of play. That's George Springer playing it very, very well.
He's moving over into right center for Josh Donaldson now. Donaldson struck out in the first. He hit .353 against Houston last year with 5 homers, driving in 18 for Oakland. There's ball 1. There is a base open, but Bautista's on deck.
That's just what I was going to say. This is a guy I generally wouldn't mind walking, but then with Bautista waiting, It's a tough call.
Strike. Gary Pettis is the outfield coach and base running coach for the Astros. He is really pleased with the outfield play. And we just saw it from Springer, those low throws. Good range communication between the outfielders this year. Keuchel had a stretch of 13 consecutive quality starts that ended with his last one. It's 2-1 to Donaldson. Every fly ball Dallas induces, he gets 3.7 ground balls. That ratio leads the American League. In the dirt. It goes to 3-1 on Donaldson now. The Angels lead at 2-0 at Baltimore. They're in the top of the 8th. The Angels are in second place behind the Astros, 4.5 games. The Astros with a .629 winning percentage with their 22-13 record, tied for the best in the American League with Kansas City.
It's part of the order for the Blue Jays is dancing through a minefield.
Little tap to third, could be tough for Valbuena. He does not make the play, and a run scores. 3-1. Donaldson reaching.
I'm not a fan of the barehanded effort on that particular play. You can see actually in the endeavor, you start reaching back anyway. It's the same move, but far less consistent in terms of coming up with it.
Infield single. Donaldson picks up his 25th run batted in. Pilar is at third base, and it's Bautista batting. Bautista struck out in the first inning. The Astros with 22 wins did not get their 22nd last year until May 28th. Bautista checks, and it's ball one. Blue Jays, by picking up Donaldson through trade and Russell Martin through free agency, really hoping to improve their 83-79 record. It's 2-0. They've had a 21-year playoff drought. It could be a very mad scramble in the AL East this year. In for a strike, 2-1 to Bautista.
Great confidence to come with the 2-0 changeup and spot it like that.
Yankees have the lead in the AL East by 1 over Tampa Bay, by 3.5 over Boston, by 4 over Toronto, and Baltimore coming into play tonight. Now 3-1 to Bautista. Encarnacion on deck. This is the best start for 35 games for an Astros team since '99. That club was one game better than this one at this portion of the season. In for a strike, and it's 3-2 now to Bautista.
Right back to that changeup.
Would you think he would throw it again?
I think there's a good chance at some point, though, Bautista, you would think, would take a look for the changeup. He's been in front. You see that left arm just moving and the elbow coming up. That's a bad move on the changeup.
That's a walk, and the bases are loaded. 23rd walk Bautista has coaxed this year. Second of the inning, and it's Encarnacion with the bases loaded.
Well, to answer the question, Keuchel did come back with the change.
Encarnacion hit the bouncer up the middle off Keuchel's glove. Altuve threw him out in the second inning. Dallas's 6-game winning streak dates back to September 14th of last year. And his 3-1 lead is being threatened here in the third. In the dirt for ball one. The Astros have 4 straight wins over the Blue Jays dating back to last year. They'll be in Toronto June 5th, 6th, and 7th. Bouncer shortstop Marlon Gonzalez to Jose Altuve for the force on Bautista. 1 run scores on 2 hits, 3 men left. George Springer leads it off at the bottom of the 3rd with the score 3-1 Houston.
The 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot is open, and for the first time ever, it's online only. Vote for your favorite Astros today by going to astros.com/vote as they move the All-Star voting into the digital age. Hey guys, following up on what you were talking about with young Lance McCullers, he has just been sensational at Corpus Christi, going 3-1 with an 0.62 ERA at Corpus. That's the 2nd lowest ERA in all of AA ball. Held opponents to just 2 earned runs in 29 innings over 6 games. 4 of those were starts. Big strikeout arm. They love this kid's mentality. He comes from a baseball family. Obviously, his father, Lance Sr., pitched in the big leagues. And Tony DeFrancesco apparently was the one who broke the news to him at a team meeting. He was actually introducing McCullers to his new teammate at Fresno, and he says, well, take a quick look at him, guys. He's not going to be here long. He's going to pitch in Houston on Monday against the A's. And he said the first guy that jumped on him and gave him a great big bear hug was Carlos Correa, who probably isn't far behind him, guys.
See you soon, pal. Foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes to George Springer as R.A. Dickey trails it 3-1. Springer grounded to shortstop in the 1st inning. That's quite a moment, and Tony D has broken the news to so many players that they're going to the big leagues. What a thrill for him too. In tight, 2-2. The Astros have signed former Astro reliever Jose Veras to a AAA contract. He'll work out in Florida for about a week and then head for Fresno. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and they also have traded infielder Ronald Torreyes to Toronto for future considerations. So it's an active day on the transaction front for the Houston organization. He was at Fresno, was Torreyes. Right to center field. This is a high flyer. Let's see how far it can go. Get out! George Springer, number 6.
There's just one word needed right there. Beast. The man is an absolute beast to hit a ball that far on a knuckleball.
Four to 1 Houston as Springer sends one on a merry ride.
You find yourself wondering about George Springer's abilities. Believe me, they are large.
Ball one to Gaddis. All power supplied by the hitter. One ball, one strike. That's the 8th long ball surrendered by Dickey in his 48th inning. That was fun for the fans. Wound up a souffle out in center field.
Yes, it did.
Lazy foul pop goes back into the seats, and it's 1-2.
If you're thinking, well, that ball just got out. Yeah, in this ballpark, check it out anywhere else.
That's 50 long balls for the Astros this year. Gaddis whiffs. Number 2 of the night for Dickey.
Let's see what George does. There's that knuckleball kind of in the middle. Steve Sparks talking about it, and that's the one that's also tumbling, and so it doesn't have the full knuckleball effect. But George had the full power effect. Wow. You go right center as a right-hand hitter in this ballpark, that close towards center, you have unique power.
Jason Castro fouls it. There's strike one. 50 homers for the Astros, who lead the American League. This is their 36th game. That's a nice pace. That was a 427-footer. There's a little buzz in this stadium tonight. One ball, one strike. More and more people picking up on this young club, which has played .629 baseball through the first 35. Donaldson comes over. 2 down.
And all I can say is, with at least a couple of guys yet to make their appearance here in Houston, this club can get really intriguing here in the near future.
Well, Tucker has given this club a lift since he arrived on the scene in Anaheim last weekend. Smacked a double his first time up. That's strike one to Preston. He was a low draft choice after his junior year in Florida. He bet on himself and came back to play his senior year. That team also went to the College World Series, and he was drafted in the 7th round after that. One and two. Well, the Astros fans in Corpus Christi and Fresno and some of the other minor league cities are seeing a ton of talent coming through. Travis takes care of out number 3, but Springer's home run sails into center field, and the Astros lead it by 3 again, 4-1.
Join the Astros at Minute Maid Park tomorrow for Whataburger Military Appreciation Night as they take on the Blue Jays. 10,000 fans will receive a Dallas Keuchel Gold Glove Gnome. Brownie got the first of the 10,000. Presented by HEB. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
It's been planted in the garden, Ash.
Watch and see how your vegetables turn out. They're going to be spectacular.
4-1 lead for Dallas. The person, the gnome, will be available tomorrow night. There's strike one to Russell Martin, who grounded out earlier. And a swing there makes it 0-2.
Changeup is breaking some backs, I think.
Great pitch. The great neutralizer, Ash.
Can be when thrown well, when you utilize the grip and throw it as hard as you can. And that's what Keuchel's doing. I don't know if Russell Martin has gotten the body back in the one piece he wants yet.
On the breaking ball, he checked his swing. The appeal went down to Clint Fagan. It's 1-2 to Russell Martin. Signed a big dollar deal to join this club over the winter. He's 32 years old. He drove in 67 for the Pirates last year. There it is, and he strikes out on the changeup. Number 4.
Not greatly located, but still effective. The pitch-by-pitch presented by Steel Dealers. And yeah, we're talking Dallas Keuchel. This is Danny Valencia in the second inning, as that first pitch is a bit low, and then he finds the inside corner. He's the paint master. That slider induces a potential half swing, didn't get it, and now gets it to 2-2. And where do you go? Back inside. So you run full count, freezes him at the knees. That's Dallas Keuchel just working all around.
Strike to Valencia. He struck out looking in the second.
I don't think I've seen another night where the changeup was as dominant as we've seen through 3+ innings tonight.
He's thrown a high percentage of that pitch. Inside for a ball. That makes it 1-1, and that helps the changeup away to drive the right-hand hitter back from the inside offering. Broken bat looper behind second base, and that is a hit in shallow center field. Marwin Gonzalez runs it down. Valencia is aboard with a 1-out single. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. That's hit number 3. Colabella will follow. He singled and scored in the third inning on an infield hit by Donaldson.
That bat died a hero on the base hit by Danny Valencia, but I would say it's the changeup that has set up that kind of a potential at bat for anybody on the night, where you just get tied up on the heater.
Keuchel would love to get a double play ball here after that looping broken bat hit. And there's ball 1. As a team, the Astros are second in the majors and first in the American League in ground ball to fly ball ratio. 1.9 ground balls for every fly ball. The Astros have 3 of the top 7 ground ball pitchers in the American League, with Keuchel number 1. Bouncer third. Valbuena gets it to Altuve, and then the spin move, and what a pivot by Altuve on a double play. That ball was in and out of his glove in a flash on a 5-4-3 here, Ash.
That's unbelievable how quickly he gets rid of this ball. legendary quick turning second baseman. Watch this. There was no business making a double play on this slowly hit ground ball. And yet Valbuena sets it up nicely, and watch Altuve get rid of the baseball. Glove in position, and right from that position he's able to make the throw. That's worth watching time and time again.
He had some contact from the base runner too there, Valencia, on his leg as he made the pivot. Dark skies out there. Hopefully they will clear and we'll get fireworks after the game tonight. But Altuve has provided two absolute masterpieces with his glove tonight. Made the first play of the game on Travis in shallow right field, spinning around with a 360-degree throw, and that time just so quick, releasing that throw onto first accurately. Now it's Chris Carter batting. Carter takes, and there's strike one to Chris, who delivered a sac fly on an 0-2 pitch in the second inning.
Last 20 years, has there been a second baseman kind of known for the ball just kind of hits the glove and heads to first base?
Last 20 years, well, yeah, going back to Mazeroski, but the last 20 years, well, probably, but let's take a moment or two.
Trying to think of a name that jumps out in that regard. There's a lot of guys that are really good.
Out into right center field. Here's Colabello going to chase it down as it goes to the wall. Carter into second base with a leadoff double, his second double of the year.
Location is everything on this one. Carter just reaches out and flips one into right center field, but he split him perfectly. I don't know what Chris had in mind as the ball left the bat, but you can see just right in the gap. Kind of one of those run forever plays, but Carter pulls up with the double.
The Astros have collected 7 hits off R.A. Dickey. Marwin Gonzalez got one of those. That was an RBI single between third and short into left field. Out into center field this time. Pilar in for the catch. One out for Dickey. Marisnik will be next, but back to the double play turned by Altuve. You're right. When that ball went into Valbuena's glove, it looked like, oh, okay, he'll get an out at second base on this play.
And a relatively close out was my thinking. So then you just get your second baseman, Altuve, out of the way, don't get hurt on the play, and he just turns it magically.
Marisnik looks at ball one. Jake with the RBI hit off the glove of Donaldson into left field in the second inning, driving in his 14th of the year. He had been in a 1-for-16 downturn. One ball, one strike. It was a wild one today at Wrigley. The Cubs in 12 beating the Pirates 11-10.
Cubbies are starting to do that.
Chris Bryant hit his 4th homer. Anthony Rizzo, number 8. Check swing roller past the mound. Barehanded, and a throw to first, not in time by Tollison. Marisnik beating it out for an infield single.
Ooh, that is going to grate on some Toronto Blue Jay front office folks, because Jake Marisnik was a member of the Blue Jays. Can you beat out a play like this? Well, Jake Marisnik can. And I'll tell you what, that kind of speed makes teams think.
Runners at first and second on hit number 8 for the Astros. 2 from their number 9 hitter. And it's Jose Altuve, 1 for 2. There's ball one. I informed Jose that he is now tied for the major league lead in intentional walks with 6. He got another one last night.
Did he flex for you?
He said, well, who's tied with me? And I said, Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez. And he had a big smile on his face. Shot to left field, headed for the corner. It's hooking. Altuve has hit it just foul. Just foul.
You know, you watch Altuve enough and you see how he can handle the away pitch and go the other way and back up the middle. But if you intentionally or otherwise get something in, he's quick and he will slam it to left.
Altuve 6th in total bases in the American League. And he has excelled in these situations, men in scoring position. In the air, out to left center field. A long run for Pilar. Pilar's out of room. He's at the wall. Altuve has done it again. Another 3-run homer for Jose Altuve this season. Number 5. And the Astros explode here in the 4th.
Well, there's the big swing you're looking for. 4-1 feels okay, but it doesn't leave you breathing easy. But this brings you closer to that point. That's a big swing. And I jokingly said, did he flex for you? But no, we're starting to see more and more of this guy.
We are.
Knuckleball left up through the heart of the plate. Gary Darling.
Altuve hit a 3-run homer in Oakland back on the 25th of April. And it is 7-1 Houston.
It's buzzing in here too.
Boy, Friday night crowd loving the show. Springer hit number 6. Altuve with number 5. 9 hits. Buena takes it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'm glad he got another pitch to be able to drive.
Dickey gloves it. Gets Valbuena.
Talking about Altuve, obviously, but he had yanked that pitch left up and in down the left field side, and it wasn't going to get out, but it was kind of close. Cheapy zone for a lot of people, but this is not cheap at all. Yeah, just enjoy that stuff.
George Springer with strike 1. He ripped a home run to right center field. He's 1 for 2. No balls, 2 strikes. The Astros won it last night despite striking out 13 times. They got 8 hits and 6 runs. So we check back, and Brian McTaggart tweeted after the game, and he's correct. Their record when they strike out 13 times or more is 5-2 this year. Out to second base, Travis without number 3. Altuve rips a 3-run shot, and the Astros lead grows to 7-1 after 4. Was absolutely sensational that year. 22-4 with a 2.90 ERA, starting that double play to Ricky Gutierrez and Jeff Bagwell.
Yeah, you see that position, how he lands both feet and glove in position. Of course, not talking about shortstop right there, but Mike Hampton, just a spectacular fielding pitcher. Dallas Keuchel. It's not quite the same thing, not the square off at the end, but the numbers really close right now. 99, what a year for Mike Hampton. combine the 2 years, last in this year, 16-9 for Dallas Keuchel. ERA even better for Keuchel. The whip better. And so he compares extremely favorably with Mike Hampton at his best.
Yeah, in that style of pitching. A lot of ground balls. Fields the position as well as anyone. Kevin Pillar hits a line drive foul. And now it's no balls, 2 strikes to Pillar, who walked in the 3rd inning. Keuchel off to a 4-0 start. If he wins 22, that's one a year to talk about, right?
Oh, yes. Guys cutting and carving with major league hitters here the last couple of years.
He started it, and did he swing? Yes, on appeal to Clint Fagan. That's a strikeout. Pillar out number 1, and that's the 5th punch out for Keuchel.
Take just a little further peek on the Keuchel-Hampton opponent's batting average. Even better for Dallas Keuchel. And the ground ball rate. I would have guessed that Mike Hampton created a rate every bit as steep as what Dallas has been putting out there, but Keuchel better again. So other than the 22-4 mark, that 99 year for Mike Hampton, all the numbers actually better for Dallas Keuchel. Very impressive stuff.
Now Tollefson bounces one up the middle. Altuve is there, and he takes away a hit. Good positioning, 2 outs.
Now, may I just say, Dallas Keuchel is a really good defensive pitcher, but Mike Hampton would have gobbled that up, just jumped on it. I mean, from his position, the way he squared off, he was amazing.
Yeah, he was ready to attack the ball. Devin Travis is 0 for 2. Grounded to Altuve. He flied to Springer in right. 3 hits for the Blue Jays. And it's ball 1. John Gibbons was very complimentary of the Astros after last night's Houston win. Out of play, 1-1. They have opened some eyes in their first 35 games this season. People have taken notice.
It's been really good, Brownie, but my eyes are getting even further opened right now with the emergence of Preston Tucker and another home run by George Springer, and just some of the things that you're starting to see on this club. That guy, he's got a chance, and I don't mean a chance to stick as a major leaguer. I mean to be really good.
Tomorrow night it's Scott Feldman and Marco Estrada with a 6:10 start. Dallas Keuchel Gnome night. Bouncer Altuve. Over to Carter. Quick 5th inning for Keuchel. A 7-1 lead for Houston. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Astros lead at 7-1. They come up against R.A. Dickey in the 5th inning. Gaddis, Castro, and Tucker due up for Houston. They've out-hit the Blue Jays 9-3. Gaddis with a line drive single in the 2nd inning. Touched off a 3-run frame. He struck out in the 3rd. Strike 1 to Evan. That started to move there, and he's called for a swing. 0-2.
What does it feel like to catch a knuckleball? Well, it feels pretty good, actually, to make contact sometimes. But look at this move right there. That's what a catcher's feeling like on a good knuckleball. A lot of Dickies have been rolling up there.
1-2. We saw that enormous catcher's mitt. Steve Sparks has actually designed one. And he let us take a look at it, and he talked about it.
I don't know. The word enormous paints to me.
Normal catcher's glove. You see the ball fits in there nicely. And now the knuckleball glove, which is much bigger in size. It's even lighter than that smaller glove. And you'll see how easily that ball fits in there. This is actually the type of glove that even the catcher Josh Tolle and Russ Martin use with the Toronto Blue Jays now. Same model, and it's got that big surface area. And the key for knuckleball catchers is you don't want to reach for that baseball. You want to make sure that you're relaxed, let the ball travel, and just get it at the last second, because if you do reach for it and you get some late movement on that pitch, a lot of times it will carry them off the side of your glove and go to the backstop, right?
I heard you use the word, what would you say? Overly large, whatever the word was. And
big?
Yeah, big to the max. But it made me think that would imply that it's larger than needed. And I don't know that there is a trash can that's larger than needed on the knuckleball.
Ground ball 3rd. Donaldson. Gets Gaddis, 1 out. Yeah, it's kind of a pillow. View from down the left field line as Jason Castro comes to the plate. He's lined to Donaldson and popped to Donaldson. Donaldson's going to move. He was smoothing out the dirt before he did. And now he's going to reposition himself as he has been between 2nd and 3rd for Castro. Some of the guys who have been around for the last few years, like Jason Castro and Jose Altuve, were talking before the game tonight about how great it is to come to the ballpark and just think about winning. Pulled foul. No balls, 2 strikes. And a lot of these players have been in the developmental mode the last 2-3 years. Generally speaking, a player comes to the big leagues and the first thing is to take care of himself and make sure that he does the things to prove to everybody that he belongs here. That's a shot foul, and then the next phase is the sense of team, and that's seemingly where the Astros have gone right now. It's, well, okay, I was 0 for 4, but I advanced a runner to 3rd base with 1 out, and we won the game.
It's a good place to be as a club.
Astros down on strikes. 3rd punch out for Dickey.
By the way, Brownie, with the 2 home runs allowed by Dickey tonight, hit by the Astros, 70 home runs since the start of 2013, and the most allowed by any pitcher in the major leagues in that span.
And that has been an issue down through the years for knuckleball pitchers. Preston Tucker's 1 for 2. That's strike 1. It's just such a difficult pitch to control, and when it doesn't dance, it sits right there for the hitter and could go a long, long way. And then ironically, when it is dancing, it can cause all kinds of problems for the catcher. And how many times has a knuckleball pitcher struck out a hitter only to find him at first base because the catcher could not stop it? 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, I always adhere to the Bob Uecker theory.
What's that? Pick it up when it quits rolling?
That's exactly it. You've done some catching, haven't you?
No. Love the line, though.
Yeah.
3-2. Got to be one of your worst nights, though, to have to catch a great knuckleball.
I love Bucher's line about when he was released. He came to his locker and it said no visitors allowed in the clubhouse.
Line shot, left field corner. That ball was hammered by Tucker, and he's in with another double. He is a doubles machine.
Wow. I wasn't sure with the double last night if it might have been kind of a fluke swing by Tucker, but look at him do it again right here. And right through the baseball, level. Oh, he is going to rake some pitches around the major leagues. Made you jump, didn't it, right there?
Yeah, you saw that side spin on it, but it was really walloped. That's 4 doubles and 6 at-bats for Tucker. Chris Carter follows. He has a double tonight and a sac fly. There's ball 1. Good pickup and the throw back, and Tucker gets back in. But Tucker might become a fixture in this lineup. How can you remove somebody who's hitting like this?
You can't. That's really the bottom line. And you know, it's like anything else in life. Somebody else starts doing it better, and somebody might find less time.
Carter looks at it. It's ball 2. He certainly has worked himself squarely into the mix for playing time. Tucker played first base at the University of Florida, but we have not seen him taking any ground balls at first with the Astros. Fouled away. 2-1. So the options for him would seem to be left field and DH. The options for this guy could be numerous after he gets a beautiful haircut out there in left center field. Carter looks at strike 2, and it's 2-2 with Marwin Gonzalez on deck. Angels beat the Orioles 3-1 in Baltimore. The junk man Jared Weaver with another win, beating Wei Yin Chen. Houston Street got his 12th save.
Junk man.
Fly ball to right field toward the line. Here's Colabello coming over, still coming, and crossing over into foul ground. He can't get there. Well, Carter goes back to home plate with a 2-2 count.
Now, this is not to pick on anybody, but consider George Springer on that play. And he just covers so much territory, and that's one thing that's happened with the Astros outfield right now is just great speed and instincts.
They'll be talking about him in the barbershop for a while with his exploits. Springer, he's hit a long homer tonight, and he's ranged all over the outfield this year, and then they're worried about getting a home run ball up there too.
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead and make your cuts perfect, but keep one eye on Altuve at all times.
Altuve gave them a close shave. Carter hits a ground ball foul. By the way, we checked back. This is the 3rd 3-run homer for Altuve this year. He hit one against Seattle May 2nd, and then Oakland April 25th. So added that bomb you just saw into the barbershop. And folks at Sports Clips got a souvenir. Carter looks at it, and it's a full count now to Chris with Ryan Tepera warming up in the bullpen for Toronto.
Sports Clips guy looked like a middle of the order hitter.
He might have to be tested before he goes on the field. There's a hanger foul back behind the dish. Well, oftentimes a knuckleball pitcher can be, in effect, his own reliever. But Dickey brought an ERA of 5 into this game, and he's given up 10 hits and 7 runs, nearing 100 pitches. Popped up. Donaldson calling at third. And the 5th for the Astros. It's no runs a hit. Another Tucker double and a 7-1 Astros lead.
appearances from the Astros and Root Sports. Post your pictures with Orbit on social media and tag the Astros and your cable or satellite provider using the hashtag #WhereIsOrbit. Head to astros.com/whereIsOrbit for more information. There he is.
Seven to 1 ball game. Dallas Keuchel on the mound for the 6th inning, facing Josh Donaldson. And it's strike one. He chases a changeup. Donaldson drove in the Toronto run with an infield hit to third in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2. Keuchel getting run support. And he set a nice pace, retiring the first 6 in this game before Colabello singled in the 3rd. Bouncer up the middle, off Keuchel's glove, deflected out to Marwin Gonzalez. 1-6-3. 1 out.
Well, it's one of those nights where you kind of show off the defensive wizardry. 2 times tonight, Keuchel has not come up with the ball, but he has possibly prevented a base hit by deflecting it. And again, most pitchers are just watching this ball go by the mound and into center field. Keuchel's making that leaping effort at it.
Dallas already has had 8 chances tonight. He leads the majors. Chances by a pitcher. Bautista takes, and there's a strike to him. Well, that's Altuve has 8 chances. Didn't read the name on that note from Boots. 0-2. Keuchel, though, does lead pitchers in chances himself for the season, and he's helped on a couple of these plays tonight. Sometimes, though, a pitcher misdirects the ball away from an infielder. Bautista wheels on that one, and the count's 1-2. Keuchel gets it down and in. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Feldman goes tomorrow night against Estrada. Sunday at 1:10, it's Colin McHugh and Mark Burley. And then Monday, the major league debut of Lance McCullers Jr. here against the Oakland A's. That's rolled out to third slowly. Barehanded. Valbuena throws it past Carter. No harm done on that one, but it's an infield hit for Bautista.
Another play where Valbuena comes with the barehanded effort, and a lot of times you grab that palm ball kind of a grip and can't make the accurate throw.
Encarnacion is next. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Has hit the ball on the ground both times. Ball 1 to him with Martin on deck. Blue Jays have lost 4 of 5. Astros hoping this is a successful stretch of home games coming up for them. This will be their longest homestand of the year. They're 2-1 so far. And when this one began against the San Francisco Giants, it was the first of 16 and 23 at home. 2 balls and a strike, and as they make their first tour around the various teams they'll play in the majors this year, they've had a heavy AL West schedule. Now they're departing from that. Three balls and a strike. Ball 4. Third walk for Dallas tonight. He won't be happy with that.
No, but at the same time, this 2, 3, 4, and even beyond for the Blue Jays are part of the order that you're better off making the mistake and walking a guy than the real mistake, putting one through the heart of the plate and watching them launch away.
Russell Martin is grounded out and he is struck out. He's Canadian born. Strike one to Martin. Martin came up with the Dodgers. He was born in East York, Ontario, Canada. His dad played saxophone in the Montreal subway for years. Got some extra money from the crowds going to see baseball games. 1 ball, 1 strike.
How many guys can say that?
Not too many. Pitch outside to him, makes it 2-1. He has developed into just an all-around player, a catcher who hits homers, drives in runs, is a good receiver. You talked about his throwing earlier.
He's putting up caught stealing numbers right now that maybe make him the elite in the game in that regard.
That one goes foul off his leg. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tomorrow night will be Military Appreciation Night here at Minute Maid Park. More than 1,000 active duty military members, veterans and their families will be here for the 6:10 start tomorrow. I always enjoy those. They'll have the big American flag on the field before the game. Little tapper, and here's Keuchel hurrying, barehanding and firing. Good play. Runners move up on out number 2.
See what Keuchel did once he did barehand. He took the ball to the glove and ensured that he got a good grip and made a good strong throw. His body posture on plays like that is just really good. It's very much like his delivery to the plate. He just gets in the right position.
Danny Valencia bats with 2 on and 2 out. Valencia is 1 for 2. Keuchel delivers, and there's ball 1.
You always love picking up big runs offensively and kind of putting the dagger into the opponent, but this is one of those hitters now with 2 runners in scoring position where it's kind of the same thing. If you can get this out without a run scoring, just as big as the 2-run hit.
2 balls, no strikes. Well, this 1-2 combo of Keuchel and McHugh has worked extremely well for the Astros. They're 12-2 with those 2 guys starting. Three balls, no strikes. Roberto Hernandez has been able to compete quite well. He went 6 1/3 last night. So that spot in the rotation has looked solid. Scott Feldman grounded into form. 3 balls and a strike on Valencia. And the number 5 spot will be occupied as of Monday by Lance McCullers. That spot, with 4 different pitchers working in it so far, 0-3 with a 6.60 ERA for the season. Ground ball goes foul, and it's 3-2. Oberholzer hopes to get back in that spot. A tough situation for Brett after working so hard for that blister to heal, and he had another injury as well in spring training. He came out and had further problems, but he does not think that will be anything that will stay with him very long at all. But he is on the disabled list.
Sounded like there was some optimism about maybe the way it came apart.
Line shot left field, and that's over Tucker's head and off the bullpen wall. That'll score a couple. Valencia in with a 2-run double, and it's 7-3 Astros now. 5th double of the year for Valencia. He has 6 runs batted in.
Yeah, that is a big swing for the Blue Jays. They're still 4 runs down and against Dallas Keuchel, but they drew quite a bit closer with that one swing. I think Dallas probably more than anything would be upset at the number of times he's fallen behind tonight.
What's he stirring? Stirring up the pot?
It can tend to do that.
Astros hoping not as Colabello backs. Strike to Chris. He's 1 for 2. Colin McHugh made a special visit to Cesar Chavez High School in Houston this morning to present that high school the Vocabulary Bowl championship.
He's just the guy to do it.
Line drive into right. That goes to right center. That'll drop in run number 4, backhanded by Springer. He gets it in on the RBI single by Colabello to second base. But now a 3-run lead, 7-4, with Toronto rallying here in the 6th inning. Colin, of course, has written, writes a blog. So the students were extremely happy to have him there at their school to present the winners of the Vocabulary Bowl.
He's kind of the ideal guy for that. He's into all kinds of things, though. He and his family into music. And well-rounded guy.
Will Harris is warming up in the bullpen. Brent Strom out to talk with Keuchel. So Dallas, with this 7-4 lead, will be facing Kevin Pillar. Pillar is 0 for 1 with a walk. We got a note from the Astros media relations staff. We'll pass along to you in a moment. Ground ball to Marlin. On to Altuve for out number 3. And the 3-run Toronto 6th inning makes it a closer game. 7-4 Houston in the 6th.
For our progressive fan of the game tonight, we have a familiar face in the house. Chris Sampson pitched for the Astros for 5 seasons from 2006 to 2010, and he's here tonight with his 2 sons, CJ and Cole. CJ's 8th birthday today. First of all, let's start with you, young man. 8 years old. Wow, I remember you when you were in the clubhouse in diapers. You having fun tonight?
Yeah.
What's the best part about coming to the game with your dad?
Well, it reminds me of like when he's playing.
And you came to the park a lot then, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you obviously are playing ball. What position do you play?
Third and pitcher.
Pitcher, no way. What a surprise. Chris, it's great to see you again, too. How much fun is this for you? Because I know you've been bringing him to the park forever, and now you're bringing, well, actually, you're bringing a whole bunch of them, aren't you?
Yeah, we're bringing the whole team out here, having a good time, and we're kind of on the different side of things instead of on the field. Now we're in the stands watching baseball together and getting to play together and all that, and just being able to be on the field and coach all these guys, especially be with my two boys, and just do life together. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, coaching them's kind of a full-time job, isn't it?
A lot of full-time job. Exactly. I don't know how we guys do it.
He's a coach. He's a cab driver. He's everything. He's doing it all. CJ, what else did you do for your birthday? Just the game?
Well,
what else did you get?
I got a glove, cleats, school clothes.
New backpack for school.
Backpack,
yeah.
School clothes. Oh, well, that's good, though. That's good. And you got a Progressive fan of the game bag to put all that cool new stuff in. Congratulations on turning 8. Chris, great to see you again.
Good seeing you guys. All right. See you, Brownie. Hey, Brownie.
Chris Sampson, great to see him out
Keep
here
him
again.
straight up there, Ash.
Very good.
Say well, boys.
One of our favorites down through the years. Bringing the whole team out to celebrate CJ's 8th birthday. That's fantastic. No balls, 2 strikes tomorrow in Gonzalez. Ryan Tepera, the rookie right-hander, has come in for R.J. Dickey. And that one's wide. It's 1-2. Dickey in 5 innings allowed the Astros 10 hits, 7 runs. He did not walk anybody. He struck out 3. And Tepera's been in 2 major league games with 3 hitless innings. Nice start to his career at age 27. He's from Lake Jackson. Went to Sam Houston University, so a local product. Throwing that one high for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Got to be a special moment for Ryan Tepera to come out of that Minute Maid Park bullpen and make only his 3rd major league appearance. He was at AAA Buffalo last year. In the air and to shallow left field. Valencia comes over for it, and Donaldson's way out on the left field line. Tremendous range for Donaldson.
Yeah, that's ranging pretty good right there. Maybe that's some of the reason that people overlook the errors that he does make. Enos Cabell used to be phenomenal at going down the line like this.
That's a dimension most third basemen do not bring to the position. Jake Marisnick is 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. Strike to Jake, the Toronto farmhand. When he came up, they traded him to Miami in that multiplayer deal. And the Astros got him in the Jared Cozart trade. You talked about it earlier. Foul back, 0-2, and it's been discussed in many articles how the Blue Jays parted with so much talent in that big deal with the Marlins. Danny Echeverria drawing rave reviews for his work at shortstop for the Marlins. He was one of those players traded. Of course, the Blue Jays do have Jose Reyes, who's not playing in this series with a rib injury.
Yeah, that was one of those deals that at first blush looked like the Toronto Blue Jays had really pulled one, but what they did was they got some players that were aging a bit and really in the end came out well shot.
Donaldson gloves it, and that's on the fly. Out number 2.
Join the Astros tomorrow for our 8th annual Bayou Bash presented by HEB. The Bash is open from 3 to 6 p.m. on the Crawford Street Plaza and features live music from Low Cash, tons of crawfish, cold beer, and activities for all ages. To purchase tickets, visit Astros.com/Bayou Bash or you call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Jose Altuve is 2 for 3 tonight, including a 3-run homer in the 4th. That's the difference in this game right now. He's moved back, and it's ball 1. 50 hits for the season for Mr. Altuve to this point. That's a quick pace. 1 ball, 1 strike. D. Gordon has even a better pace than that for the Marlins. Altuve swings at that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. D. Gordon has 58 hits coming into play tonight. That's a club record for that team through 35 games, and the most for any team through 35 games since Ralph Garr had 58 hits for the Braves and 71 in 35 games. Struck him out looking. That's the 6th inning, and it's 7-4 Houston.
Ryan hurls the first of his major league record 7 no-hitters. That's impossible. We need to check the stats there. The Express could flat bring it. And he's playing with an Angels ball club at the time. Had his record breaker, the 5th with the Astros, and then went on and threw a couple more for good measure up with the Texas Rangers. So just a phenomenal career.
Among the records that will never be broken.
Never.
All-time strikeout record.
Not even approached.
Steve Tollefson leads it off. There is strike 1 in the 7th inning from Dallas Keuchel. Tollefson is 0 for 2.
And that's not to say that anybody today is not capable of that, but with the innings that they're limited to now, they're not capable.
1 ball and 1 strike. That's a shot into right field on the line, and Tollefson leads it off with more trouble for Keuchel here in the 7th inning. Hit number 7 for the Jays.
What started back in the first couple of innings as an extremely sharp-looking night for Dallas Keuchel has gotten away from him a bit, and pitches in this kind of zone are the culprits.
Bullpen is busy for Houston and has been busy for a while. Travis is the batter. He's 0 for 3. Will Harris continues to throw. Middle of the order will be coming up. And it's highly unlikely that A.J. Hinch is going to allow Dallas to go through that middle of the lineup again. He's already gone through it 3 times. So Harris is getting ready. Especially on A.J.'s birthday.
Has he blown out the candles yet?
Don't know. I don't think he'll do that until this game's over.
Imagine you have to wait that one out.
No balls, 2 strikes. He was born in '74, 41 years old. Emmett Smith, Dan Patrick, George Brett, Madeline Albright also enjoying birthdays this day.
He came up shy of the rushing record from Emmett Smith, right? So Emmett still holds that, right?
Emmett still has the record. A.J. a little bit short of that. But A.J. got a bike today.
Got a bike.
He got a bike for his birthday.
A lucky man.
He's going to go on bike rides with his family. Apparently when they made the move here, something happened to the bike that he had.
It was all a ploy to get a new set of wheels.
Might have been. That's lined into center field, and trouble here for the Astros with Travis reaching on the 0-2 swing. And now 2 men on, and Donaldson comes up representing the potential tying run with nobody out.
So the comment about poor locations doesn't apply with that one. That was a really tough pitch down and away, and just very good hitting. This was kind of Jose Altuve-esque.
Wasn't it, though?
Look at the head right down on the baseball.
That's very good bat work. And it gets Keuchel out of the game with a 7-4 lead. Will Harris coming in, back in a moment.
As we take the glance, Dallas Keuchel on the hill. Change up early in the ballgame. Dominated the Blue Jays hitters. And that was right in the heart of the order. Even one that was left up got by Russell Martin. So Dallas Keuchel very good early. Works it into the 7th inning and now counts on that bullpen once again.
And that bullpen begins with Will Harris tonight facing Josh Donaldson. Donaldson 1 for 3 with an RBI. Harris 1-0 with a 0.53 ERA for 13 games. 1 earned run in 17 innings. He inherits 2 runners, and there's nobody out. Throwing ball 1, Harris worked in the San Francisco series in both of those games. He had a scoreless inning in each of those Tuesday and Wednesday nights. Donaldson did not get off a good swing on it. It's 1-1. Will Harris had quite a scoreless inning streak. He reached 26 games in 28 2/3 innings, spilling over from last year until May 6th of this year. Pat Neshek is warming up. In for a strike, and that's what Will Harris has done so well. Dot the corners with his pitches.
At 92 miles an hour, so good looking stuff right there.
Paid attendance is 21,653 tonight. Well, the Astros came from behind last night. The Blue Jays trying to return the favor, so to speak, tonight. Stirring up trouble here after scoring 3 in the 6th. Good breaking ball. Got him on strikes. A key out.
Well, that's a good one to get for Will Harris, and obviously for Dallas Keuchel to. He's not going to relax yet, but right over the top. Yacker City.
That one went between Castro's legs and hit Brian O'Nora's leg. Jose Bautista has an infield hit, a walk, and a strikeout. Altuve plays up the middle. In the air and on the infield. Marwin Gonzalez with the infield fly in effect. 2 outs.
Wow, you talk about a couple of outs to come on and get Donaldson and Bautista. Now you've still got Encarnacion, but runner's still in place.
That's quite a challenge with a 3-run lead. Encarnacion has faced Harris once and he homered off him.
And he just came right with the fastball. Jose Bautista never happy when he doesn't launch one.
Encarnacion 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. And 3 guys who can all take it out of the park facing Harris here. That's a strike with the potential tying run being represented by each of the 3. That's a challenge, especially when the other club has picked up the momentum, has shown signs now of being able to really threaten this lead. It was 7-1 Houston after 4. Off the plate for a ball, 1-1. The Astros bullpen has been very sturdy with a 2.13 ERA, second best in the American League with 11 wins and 2 losses. And protecting leads extremely well. Tolleson at second, Travis at first.
It's been that bullpen that's been the key reason that the entire staff is ranked so well.
In for a strike, 1 and 2, and again Harris is painting the corners.
Edwin's trying to find one pitch to tie this ball game up, and Harris just made that one pitch that nobody wants to swing at.
The Astros are 13-1 when they have had the lead after 6 innings. He got him with starting pitcher stuff. What's coming next? Blue Jays saw a lot of assortment there from Harris. He gets out of trouble. It's no runs, 2 hits, 2 men stranded. Great job by Harris. 7-4 Houston.
Hey, celebrate the Astros' best start since 1986 with a special ticket promotion that offers limited lower level and 200 level seats for $19.86 for Monday through Thursday games in the month of May. For more information, go to astros.com/1986 or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Bart, and for all your fine work on this series. Julia's been anchoring Astros pregame and Astros postgame. So you two kind of switched roles, and I think everybody's enjoyed it. Nice to do a different job for a series every now and then. Luis Valbuena comes up in the home 7th inning. He is 0 for 3. The Astros lead at 7-4 against Ryan Tepera now in relief of R.A. Dickey. High drive Luis Valbuena with a skip out of the batter's box has hit out. Number 9 for the Astros home run leader. Valbuena with 15 runs batted in puts a jolt into that first pitch here in the bottom of the 7th inning to make it 8-4.
Go ahead, pal, make my day. Throw me that first pitch fastball. Valbuena was all over that thing. Just crank it up. You feel like you know what you're going to get, and well, that's unleashing the beast.
That's the 3rd long ball for the Astros tonight. George Springer hit one. There's strike 1 to him. He is 1 for 3. This is one potent offense when it gets uncranked. Astros 7th in the league in runs scored, but they can be explosive in the way that they go about it. Strike 0-2, and the thing that's been really fun for the fans is that they have outscored their opponents from the 7th inning through the 9th, 58-30 now. A lot of late inning explosions. Swing by Springer, and he's down on strikes. Number 2 for Tepera. I was asking Jason Castro about that before the game tonight, about all the late inning runs against the other team's bullpens. He's aware of it, but he doesn't have a particular explanation for it.
There's no way you could ever have an answer for that. Well, you know, we're just that kind of team. We love the pressure of the late innings. I say nonsense to all of that stuff. Numbers from one year to the next with the same guys can look very different, but right now it looks really magical.
You see the look on that little kid's face. It's strike 1 to Gaddis. He's in the upper deck. His dad puts a ball in front of his face, and he's looking back at home plate wondering how in the world a human being could hit the ball that far. Gaddis takes a look at it 1-1. You know how sometimes when you're not real close to the field, if you get to your seats and look down there,
yeah,
we're never going to get one tonight.
Yeah, just imagine the dreams, the thoughts of that young man and others here at the ballpark.
Smacks one foul. When you get close, and you need to be watching the action all the time. 1-2. Especially when there's a lumberjack at the plate.
He is that, isn't he?
Foul back. Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Evan Gaddis. He got a single in the 2nd inning to start that 3rd inning. In the 2nd inning to start the 3-run round. He's 1 for 3 and showing signs of making a move in the batting average department. Astros on deck. That one bounces up there. It's 2-2.
Really impressed watching Russell Martin. He's a hard-working, good-looking catcher. As is Jason Castro. It's just fun to get to see the other guys around the league.
Fouls it back.
I think Evan Gaddis at the plate is a perfect time for Kubota dealers to come on out.
What's Kubota going to do for us?
I don't know. I'm not going to mow my lawn tomorrow, from what I hear. But
no, I don't think anybody's going to mow your lawn. Not going to be a whole lot of lawn mowing. Apparently the next few days as well, from what we're seeing.
Well, you got yours all taken care of, so go ahead and gloat.
Just have a concrete lawn. You're good. Yeah. Ground ball to 3rd. Donaldson. 2 outs.
Our Geico quote of the day comes from John Gibbons. That's the skipper of the Toronto Blue Jays, talking about the Astros. They're tough, no question. A good team, a dangerous team with a lot of speed on the base paths, and that's why they're sitting where they are in their division. He's one of those dynamic players that can change a game in a lot of ways. What are we talking about?
Not sure. Maybe George Springer.
Maybe George, maybe Jose Altuve, maybe. We can throw a lot of maybes out there.
Yeah, there are some possibilities, aren't there?
John Gibbons, a good old Texas boy, and a lot of fun.
Well respected. Jason Castro's 0 for 3. That would hit him.
Well, I hope that hit what it sounded like it hit, which is partially at least on the sole of the shoe.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to take that in the foot or the ankle. Let's see what this does hit. Maybe that did get some of that sole.
It filleted his soul.
Yes. Jason's going to say, you know, it got part of me too.
Yeah.
Uniform was all nice and clean up until that point.
That is the first time he's been hit by a pitch this year, but not really because he's a catcher.
Now you're talking.
Preston Tucker has 2 doubles. He has broken some new ground. He is the first Houston Astros rookie to have multiple doubles in consecutive games. Liam Hendricks is warming up in the Toronto bullpen. 17 other Astros have had consecutive games with more than 1 double, but he's the only rookie. Something about this series that's bringing out doubles from the Astros bats. They had 5 doubles last night, and that's 4 more than they had in their previous 6 games combined.
It's a rather quiet offense that was chugging along there.
Very quiet. One ball, 2 strikes. Teams certainly move through different cycles in a 6-month season, but this team, it's just so unpredictable.
You know, one thing that, well, 2 things that seem predictable are the long ball and the running game.
Leading the league in both. Fly ball out to center field. Pilar started in. Now he goes back. To end the 7th, Valbuena's homer gives the Astros a 4-run lead. Moving to the 8th, it's 8-4.
The Coca-Cola Astros Buddies Club membership now available for just $20. Watch baseball and have access to fun, exclusive experiences, and prizes throughout the season. Go to Astros.com/buddies to register for an Astros Buddies membership today. I was an Astros buddy when I was a kid.
Well, we thought maybe you were.
Yep. My Astros buddies were Jimmy Wynn and Larry Durker.
Isn't that something that you can still see these guys all the time now?
Yeah, I got to work with them. That was a big thrill for me. In fact, I said to Durker one time, when I was 10, you were my Astros buddy. And he looked at me and he smiled and he said, "Don't ever say that to me again."
You are an old geezer.
Oh, boy.
You wear it well, Bart.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chad Qualls is in. He's 1-2 with a 3.38 ERA. In 15 games, he has 4 saves. He got one last night. This is his 3rd straight game. Russell Martin takes. Great job by Will Harris in the 7th, coming in with runners at 1st and 2nd, striking out Donaldson, popping up Bautista, striking out Encarnacion.
Could ultimately be the player of the game if the Astros hang on and win this thing.
Good sinking action for Qualls. That evens the count at 1-1.
I just nearly handed out an award we don't hand out. So
what's that?
Player of the game.
Well, we should start.
Will Harris is my man tonight.
Popped up, and yeah, with good reason. 1-2. Very good reason. A lot of hitting stars here to get to that big lead, but then Toronto was cutting into that lead, had it down to a 3-run lead at 7-4. 2 men on, nobody out, and Will Harris doused the fire.
Just got word that Dallas Keuchel agrees with my vote, so okay. All is good in the world.
Dallas in 6 innings allowed 8 hits, 4 runs tonight, walking 3, fanning 5. He's in line for win number 5. Ground ball to the left side for Valbuena. And Qualls takes care of out number 1. A.J. Hinch explained after the game last night that Luke Gregerson was not with the Astros. He was away on family business, but he is back tonight. So Qualls was the closer, and Josh Fields got the win from this outstanding Houston bullpen. Danny Valencia is 2 for 3 with a 2-run double. We have another happy birthday wish for Spanish radio broadcaster Francisco Romero with the Astros. Strike 1 to Valencia.
I sat with Frankie at dinner and I had no idea.
Were they bringing him a cake? There he is.
Oh, they bring him so many goodies every night.
Well, he's not in that shot.
Nope.
He's out of the booth apparently now. But Alex Trevino was there.
There he is. On the
there
far
he
right.
is over there. Yeah, he's a birthday guy. Who's their pal there? Do you know?
Well, I've seen him many times, but I don't have a response for you.
He has been here often. And Jeff Luhnow made an appearance on their broadcast tonight as well. Jeff getting a lot of questions. 2 balls and a strike, especially about the big decision to bring up Lance McCullers Jr. to make his major league debut on Monday. Happy time for not only Jeff, but so many people who work in the organization on the minor league side and watch that player development. There were a lot of smiling folks on the minor league side upstairs today. 3-1. Everybody kind of shares in a promotion like that, Ash, as you know.
All the guys, I think they feel like these guys coming up from the minor leagues are their babies. The son that has now made it.
Bouncer back to Qualls. 2 outs.
Tomorrow night's pitching matchup is presented by Chevron. Care for your car. Marco Estrada goes for the Toronto Blue Jays. 1-2 on the season. 2-4 is Scott Feldman, who will toe the rubber tomorrow night. And Scott trying to get things going back in the right direction. 523 that earning. But he would love to hit the hill with the Astros having won the first 2 here in the series.
Last time out, Feldman in 7 innings allowed the Angels 3 runs. And didn't get much run support as Garrett Richards beat him 3-1.
It's a tough assignment when you get Garrett Richards.
Chris Colabello looks at ball 1. He is 2 for 3. Big night for the Rangers' outstanding third baseman Adrian Beltre. He hit his 400th career homer. They are at home But they trailed Cleveland 8-3 in the 6th. Ground ball to the left side. Marlon Gonzalez. Excellent glove work. Chad Qualls gets 3 ground ball outs. The Astros come up in the 8th, leading it 8-4. Runs in a game. We promised earlier in the game it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, showing you 2 of the 3. We'll get you the other one later. Here's George Springer. Solo shot in the 3rd to right center field. And then Luis Valbuena in the 7th inning. That one made it 8-4. That's number 9 for him. Springer hit number 6. You'll see the other one coming up. Astros lead it by 4 as they come up in the 8th inning now against pitcher number 3 of the night for John Gibbons. He is Liam Hendriks, 26-year-old right-hander from Perth, Australia. Came up with the Minnesota Twins. He's bounced around since then. Hendriks will be facing Carter Gonzalez and Marisnik. He's been on a strikeout rampage lately. 14 strikeouts in his last 13 1/3 innings. To get to a 3.14 ERA for the season and a whip of 0.84. Carter has a sac fly and a double.
Impressive numbers.
Into right center field. Pilar back. 1 out on 1 pitch for Liam Hendriks.
You know, you're watching for good signs from different guys. Chris Carter, that double into the gap in right center field tonight. He's had a sac fly. And then this at bat, that was pretty good work, and you can see maybe some of the same sentiment there in the dugout.
Yeah, he's had better swings. Marlon Gonzalez had batted right-handed the first 2 times up against the right-hander Dickey, the knuckleballer. Marlon takes, there's strike 1. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI tonight. Josh Fields is working for Houston in the bullpen. Andy Rodriguez gave up 5 earned runs and 4 2/3 for Texas tonight. The bunt goes foul. 0-2. With the Angels winning 3-1 in Baltimore, the Astros need a win to stay 4.5 games in front in the AL West. Foul back 0-2. We were checking the records of the AL West teams today, and the Astros are 10-9 at home. So are the Angels. Those are the best home records in the AL West. In the dirt, 1-2.
Yeah, I'd love to hear the answer to that question as well. There is no answer. It's just
there's not an answer for everything.
Why do you feel that way?
We keep trying to find them, but Donaldson Donaldson throws to first.
Looking for the answer as to why you feel that way.
Right. And so Jason Castro was talking about the home hitting woes of the Astros. He said, this is good hitter's park. There's no reason for that.
Yeah, and that really is the honest answer. Start trying to spin your gears and come up with something intriguing. It just doesn't make sense.
But then baseball itself doesn't make sense.
It's kind of the definition. Scott Feldman is trying to check with the guys and see if they're going to score this kind of runs tomorrow night.
Marisnick with ball one. He's 2 for 3. An RBI for Jake tonight. Well, if he can get some kind of assurance from them, that's more than anybody can get, because when this team shows up on any given night, good luck figuring out what's going to happen.
But it's all part of the intrigue coming out to the yard.
Yeah, the pitching has been consistent, but the offense extremely erratic. You might see 3 or 4 homers, or you might see a one-hitter. It all adds up to 22-13, and that works. Tollefson at short makes the play to get Marisnick. We go to the 9th inning, 8-4 Astros. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Glad to have you with us tonight on Root Sports. The Astros lead at 8-4, moving to the 9th inning. They've out-hit the Blue Jays 11-8. They've bombed 3 home runs tonight. And now it's Josh Fields coming out for the 9th inning. He's pitcher number 4. He's 2-0 with a 1.35 ERA.
Worked 2/3 of an inning in last night's ball game, and he's been bringing the gas. Stuff is good.
Kevin Pillar leads it off. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Josh got the win last night. He came in with the Astros trailing 3-2 in the 7th, and the bases loaded. Gave up a run on a sac fly, not charged to him, and then the Astros pulled off the 7th inning come from behind win. He was rewarded with the W, his 2nd of the year. So he needed 6 pitches to get that W last night. Cracked bat roller. Marwin Gonzalez.
Follow the Astros all season long with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and a whole lot more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet.
We get a pinch hitter now, Ryan Goins. He's batting for Tollefson. Goins started the game last night at shortstop, and he went 0 for 4. He's from Round Rock. 237. 6 runs batted in for Ryan. He's had 76 at bats. He's played second as well as shortstop in the big leagues. There's strike 1 to Goins. Fields delivers and throws a ball to make him 1-1. When this game started, Toronto was the best hitting team in terms of runs scored in the American League. They scored 4 tonight. 2 balls and a strike. Astros pitching, though, has been consistent this year with the 3rd best ERA in the American League. And on most occasions has given the offense a chance to provide a win. (3-1) now. With Travis on deck. The Royals are bashing the Yankees 8-1. At the end of 6, Kansas City just dropped a 6th spot on the New Yorkers in the 6th inning. Michael Pineda absorbed 6 earned runs tonight. Foul back. 3-2. He had a 16 strikeout game last time out, Ash.
Talking about the Michael Pineda that's been nearly unhittable this year.
Same guy. Well, maybe not so much tonight.
How about the Yankees? Pineda has really stepped up. Sabathia has had a rough go, and I'm trying to think. Tanaka back on the DL, and he has produced very little, and yet the Yankees have played well.
They sure have. They have had a number of hot hitters. That's a strikeout for Fields. 2 down.
Our T-Mobile game changer coming at you. Jose Altuve. How about that play back early in the ball game? Spectacular stuff. And then this double play. You may not see a quicker turn at second base and then follow it with this kind of a bomb. My goodness, can this guy play the game?
Who is that? Rogers Hornsby?
It's acting like it, isn't it? I don't think Rogers Hornsby could turn that double play.
Now it's Travis with these fans up. Travis 1 for 4, and there's ball 1. It's been fun to watch the fans get into this club this year. 21,653 tonight. Should have a much bigger crowd tomorrow night. There's a lot going on in that game. Not just good baseball. Strike, and it's 1-1. Josh Fields trying to close the lid on a 3-1 start to this homestand. Dallas Keuchel would be 5-0 with a win tonight. Foul back. 1-2 in this club, which had been in the offensive doldrums. Rescued the game against the Giants Wednesday night, 4-3, coming from behind in that one. Another come from behind win last night, 6-4. And now an 8-4 score, so the offense has reawakened. Upstairs, and it's 2-2. This would be 9 consecutive outs for the Houston bullpen if Fields gets Travis.
All big, but those first 3 turned in by Will Harris, just enormous with a couple of runners aboard and nobody out to start things.
And that is the end of the game. The Astros took the first 2 from Toronto. They've now won 20 of their last 28 games. They're off to a 20